Inchash nenaktush in kakushent, liwa ulkan, statlim kan uchamilch, shamat cha Tanina Williams. And thank you so much for um, making this opportunity available. I started just an introduction. I've been working for the CSGI School District 48 for 8 years. And before that, I worked for the Squamish Litwet Cultural Center. And my role is cultural support, culture and language support. Oh, yes, and I have a business called amawilc, and that means to recover. And as I was thinking about starting my business, officially, I had to come up with a name, and I thought about my role. And I've been in a position to work at 4 schools for a school district, and it's definitely a challenge. I work at 3 schools in Whistler, 2 elementary schools, and 1 high school. And then I work in Pemberton at an elementary school. And I've been really fortunate with this role because my role is to support principals and teachers in delivering curriculum that has Indigenous ways of knowing and being. And then also going to classes and teaching about my culture, Lilwet, and what that means to me, and what that and how that supports our Statlian people. And I also have the privilege of supporting Inuit and Métis students as well. And part of this is being able to support students that are really displaced, students where their parents come from the 60s scoop and they know that they're First Nations or they know they're Indigenous, but they don't know who they exactly are. They've never been to their communities. And working in a world where principals are, we did an Orange Shirt Day assembly via Zoom, and we recorded it. And I had principals share and vice principals share their journey of why it's so important that we share, why we talk about Orange Shirt Day, why we talk about residential school, and what does that mean to them, and in a very deep and personal way. And I asked them as not as my coworkers, but I asked them as my my Inshnuknukwa, my in my heart they are my brothers and sisters, because I've been working alongside them for so long, and I've had a chance to build relationships with them and a chance to get to know them in personal ways as we rub shoulders together, as we make mistakes together, and we learn from them. And they shared beautiful stories that I get to hear, and my coworkers don't get to hear those stories, and my people don't get to hear those stories. And so I got them to share their stories, and we had also elders on in the meeting, and they got to hear the stories. And then of course this was going to get shared out to, and of course the elders shared their stories, but this would get to be shared out with all the schools I work at. And it just is so beautiful, and it'll be posted on the district website eventually. And I think what that, and in that video I got to share that I have the privilege to work with principals and vice principals and teachers, and I get to work with my elders, and this gave an opportunity to bridge them together. And I believe that's my role. That's what the Creator has gifted me with in this life. And that's what I want to share with you. I also have the fortune of being in the uh, program of culture culture and language proficiency with at Tizil with CapU, and I'm finishing up my last course to finish that certificate and hopefully to be able to move forward with furthering my knowledge of our people. And I'm in the MAP program, which is mentor apprenticeship program with my dad, who's teaching me Ukhumyuch. And so I hope this helps to know who I am and how I can contribute into this program. And I'm so glad to be part of moving forward and healing Canada, healing Indigenous people, and healing myself in my own journey. I'm as I struggle with my own things, my own path, get to know who I am, what I'm about. Please check out my webpage and get a really good idea of who I am. Kukstum Kal.